Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. So this is the recap for Pose Season 2, Episode 1. So let me go ahead and get into it so I can be done with it and sit down somewhere because my throat cannot really take much more of this. So now it is 1990 and the ballroom scene is really up and going. Everybody is living for it. Like, it's more pronounced than it has ever been at this time. Madonna has come out with the song Vogue. If you don't know that song, I don't know where you been. There are people who know nothing about the ballroom scene who know that song. Y'all know that song. But Madonna does that song. Vogue, Vogue. Let your body move to the music. Hey, 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 come on, Vogue. I know y'all know that song. But anyway, that's what's going on. I ain't gonna lie, I felt like Blanca did the most when it came to that song. She heard that song, went crazy. Every single moment that she said anything, she was like, oh my gosh, it's a movement. We have to really capitalize off of this movement because look at Madonna. Madonna recognizes us. She actually gave us a shout out. She actually acknowledges us, the ballroom scene, all of us. This is representing us. We are the ones in the video. Like almost every scene, she said something about it. I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you ain't gotta talk about it every other second. I get it, but I was just like, girl, I feel like it was overkill. But anyway, y'all. But in all honesty, given the fact that Madonna came out with this song, there are a lot of people who are in the LGBT community and, all the other letters that are associated with it nowadays that are kind of conflicted on it because there have been other things in life that have happened, that have been brought to the forefront, that were created by others, and people like Madonna have made it mainstream. They took it mainstream, and then now it just seems like appropriation in some sense. So that's why there are a lot of people that are like, I hear you, but whatever, because it just seems like she saw us do this and she's making money off of it. Do they care about us? I don't feel like they care about us. They still out here wanting to kill us, and they're still giving us dirty looks. And yeah, so I get it. Y'all, so Blanca ends up going to see the nurse that I mentioned to y'all before, and she is in her feelings because she finds out that she now has full-blown AIDS. Her T cells are down, and in order for her to have a good shot at survival for as long as she can, her T cell count cannot drop any lower than they have. And so she's in her feelings, and she's like, I don't understand. This is the best I've felt in so long. I've been eating healthy. I've been eating right. I've been doing right. I don't understand. And so the nurse let her know, like, that's amazing that you've done that, but a lot of times this disease, it does not even matter. If it's going to be aggressive, it's just going to be aggressive. So what happened was, Blanca's in her feelings, of course, as I myself would be too if I found that. I was already devastating enough last season when she found out that she had HIV. So she's just like, well, what am I going to do? I don't understand. What am I even going to be able to do about this? I don't even know what to do because I feel like I've done everything I can possibly do. And so she gave her a container of pills. And I'm just like, we just have a random bottle of pills? Y'all, so what happens is there are people who are rich or up in the upper echelon of whatever society that they're in, but they are gay, lesbian, whatever, and they have AIDS, HIV. Since they have the money, they have the resources, all this good stuff, they can afford the medication that is too expensive for common folk. And what happens is when they are about to die or when they have already passed, people like the nurse come in and clean up the things that have been left behind. namely the different antibiotics and medications and things that can actually help them. So that stuff is still good, and that's what the contribution is. They have already said that, you know, we're not going to be here, but we want to leave something behind for other people, especially the people who can't afford it. So that's what they do. They end up going and getting the old pills and all that other stuff. So people who are like Blanca, who can't afford it, they are able to use the medication, and hopefully they'll be able to live a long and healthy life, as they love to promise people. But Blanca did her research, as she always does, and she was like, well, I don't understand, because I've heard about people getting on these same medications and then they die even faster than they would have if they hadn't even taken it or whatever. So it's kind of like, you're darned if you do, you're darned if you're not. If you don't, my bad. So I don't know. And you don't never know what's going to happen. I guess you just got to try it and see if it's going to work for you, because either way, you know, I mean, the nurse was trying to give her hope. She was like, well, nobody's come up with a cure yet. So I'm just like, girl. But yeah, her count dropped to 200, y'all. So yeah. Yeah, her name is Judy. I wanted to make sure I said her name right, because I was like, did I say her name was Judy? But anyway, she got her that medication that was left over, the AZT. So I think Pray Tell. Oh no, this is what happened, because I was about to confuse myself, y'all. I'm sorry. So what happened was, Pray Tell and the same nurse, Judy, they were attending a funeral of a very young boy. He died. I think he had AIDS or HIV. But they were there, and y'all, it was so sad. Like, she asked Pray Tell what number was he on, as far as how many people's funeral has he attended who've died from having AIDS or HIV. So he said like 200 or something, I think she said 500 or something. And so, like, in order to kind of, make light of the situation or laugh to keep from crying, she was like, okay, first one to make it to 1,000 gets a free toaster. And so they both laughed. So they ended up going up there viewing his body. And Pray Tell, kind of broke down. And y'all, I don't know what it is. When Pray Tell, like, get upset, it make me upset. And I know he acting, but I'm just like, sir, like, man. So anyway, y'all, he went and viewed the body. And right after that, I don't know if they were going to have anybody to come in and do a eulogy or what, but she proceeded to take Pray Tell out of the building. He was like, girl, where you taking me? And he was like, we better be going to get something to eat, because I'm hungry. She ended up taking him to this underground, like, rally setup. And it's called ACT UP, I think. Yeah, ACT UP. It's a protest. So what happened was, since AIDS and HIV is out of control, and a lot of people feel like, and that's still true to this day, a lot of people feel like the Catholic Church are one of the main entities that are responsible for this, because they will preach to the people and tell them you are not to use condoms, you are not to use birth control of any form, whatever. And at the same time, most of these people, a lot of these people out here, whether they in the church or not, they sitting up here in the church, but they are screwing everybody and their mama, and then they bring it back home to their wife, and vice versa. So that's why all these diseases are running rampant like crazy as well. So you sit up and tell them, oh no, we can't use this, you can't use protection. So what has happened is they are staging a die-in. Y'all, when that woman announced that they were going to do a die-in, as soon as the woman said die-in, Pray Tell face was like, what? Like, his whole facial expression changed, because he was already curious about what it was about. So then when it said a die-in, because, back in the day, black people used to do sit-ins. So you said die-in. And I know, like, in a whole, from years ago, people started doing die-ins and stuff like that. But y'all, when they went and did this die-in, they were going to this cathedral. All service was in session. They eventually went in there. People were all up and down the aisle, staging the die-in, like they said they were going to do, doing the protest. And the y'all, what is the name? The priest. The priest ended up trying to tell everybody to rise. And then when that happened, people started protesting and saying their piece and talking about how, people that condoms and all this other stuff would, stop these things from happening. And you need to stop telling people these lies. And y'all, it was bad. Over 100 people were taken to jail. Y'all, before that, Elektra decided that she would not be in attendance because she didn't want to get arrested. So, I mean, it was a given that that's probably what was going to happen. So she was like, I ain't going. But she ended up having an argument with her mother, and she kind of made it seem, she said she was going to come, but then she ended up not coming. I knew she wasn't going to come, y'all, because that's how trifling she is. You want all the, and that's the thing with everything that has gone on with her. Like, if you haven't seen it, y'all should go see it. Y'all need to see the first season. She has gone through her ups and definitely her downs. And you would think everything that she's gone through and the climate that everything has been facing and in during that time, you would think that she would want to be like, okay, let me be a part of this, because this is mainly targeting us. It's already bad enough that everybody associates AIDS and HIV with gay people anyway. With straight people, the ones out here having it too. So don't be sitting up and trying to make it seem like, oh, gay people are the ones who brought it up. They're the ones doing all these strange things. They're the problem. Like, it's just a lot. Too many moving parts. But yeah, of course she didn't show up. So she got into an argument with her mother. Again, y'all, Pray Tell goes to Blanca's house on the regular. Especially after his boyfriend passed away. I don't know if he's living there now or not, but I think he's visiting. But he might very well be living there now because he was going all the way through. And he and Blanca have kind of been sounding boards for one another and been that emotional support that they both need, given the fact that they both had this illness. So yeah. Pray Tell has been really deep off in his feelings since all that stuff happened. And I forgot to mention at the very beginning, one of the things that happened is they showed him trying to see where, I think he was referring to his boyfriend, trying to find out where his body was after he died. Well, he finally tracked down the place where his body was going to be. So it's the place that you go where if you can't afford to have a burial and all this other stuff. But there are certain sections of the area where you'll be put in a pine box, and if you're a baby, you're over in this area. If you have AIDS or HIV, you're in a completely different place because they don't know what to do with you because they were still ignorant about how that works and how it can spread and all that stuff. So that's all off somewhere else, far away from all the other bodies when everybody else that's there is dead. So it's like, what are you talking about? So yeah, he went to visit him and he ended up writing on a rock that was in the shape of a heart. And you kind of like say a prayer for the person's body, their soul, and all that stuff, because it's basically the place where people have been forgotten go. And I think that was so sad. I was just like, oh my gosh, y'all, it was too much. Let me see. But yeah, after Pray Tell and Judy went to that acting up protest, he got really, really, riled up, because at first he was like, okay, don't be bringing me to no place like this. And I think that's where we met her girlfriend, which I mentioned in the little other video where it was kind of giving y'all a little backstory on first season. But yeah, her girlfriend is black and she's very, very into the protesting. So yeah, it was a lot. Like I said before, over 100 people got arrested when they did that die-in. Now, I wanted to stay on a lighter note, but I can't even say that. So Angel, who, as I mentioned to y'all before, she's a trans woman who was a streetwalker, woman of the night, all the little things y'all want to say. She was actually out by the piers, docks, or wherever it was, waiting for somebody to come along so that they could take her somewhere. They do what they do. She gets some money, going by her business. Well, she thought she had a customer, and it ended up being Blanca, her mother. So she was like, I told you not to do this stuff anymore, get in this car. So she ended up getting in the car, and she was like, I gotta make my money. So anyway, she was like, look, I'm taking you somewhere. She ended up, because one day she was at the house and she saw her and one of the other people who, this guy, he's very troubled. Like, he was like into like gang activity and all that stuff. But in my mind, like when I first saw him, I'm like, he can't be gay. He can't be a part of the scene. Like, is he just troubled, or does he actually like guys too? But yeah, he likes guys, but he's just like, he has like thug in him sometimes. He does all kinds of stuff. Y'all, but anyway, he was taking pictures of her, Angel. And Angel looks amazing. She looks like a model. And so she was like, look, I'm taking you somewhere. She took her to this place where they were hosting somebody who was going to basically be the face of 1990. And it was going to be a woman. And let me see. It was a modeling competition held by Ford Models. Now, that actually is a real company. I heard of it only because of when I used to watch America's Next Top Model. Every time I looked up, Tyra Banks was talking about it. So, yeah. And they were going to eventually dwindle down to 10 people. And then there was going to be one person who was going to win the whole competition and have their face on whatever it was going to go in. But yeah, they were going to be the face of 1990. So anyway, she went in, the Polaroid shots that the guy, I think they call him Poppy, took. And, well, they call him something else, but I'm going to say Poppy. Y'all know who I'm talking about if you watch the show. But anyway, the woman who she took the photographs to, she was like, these are nice. And she said she liked her look. And she saw her application that she knows how to Vogue. And so she Vogued a little bit on the spot. And she was like, now, I like that. That's something that I like. So she was like, she basically was like, I'll be honest with you. These pictures ain't going to work. You're going to have to come and be professional. You're going to have to bring professional shots. All right, y'all. Sorry, I had to pause it for a second. I'm about to not make it. So what happened was, she was like, look, I can't afford to get no professional to take no pictures of me. So she was like, look, here is my personal photographer. I'm going to get them to give you a special discount. Tell them that I sent you, whatever. Y'all, she ended up going to the guy. And she let him know up front, like, look, I ain't going to have no money. I ain't got no money coming in right now. What can I do to make it up to you? And so he was basically making it seem like, well, no, I don't want you to give me nothing. It's going to be free. All I need you to do is allow me to photograph you. So it sounded good. He's taking amazing pictures of her. Y'all, it gets to the point where whenever, I don't know if it was over the course of days or just a whole day and several looks. I'm guessing that's what it was. But anyway, he had his whole crew come in and make her over with each look, like set it off. And she ain't had no money. Y'all, everybody left for the day. He had taken his last pictures of her. Y'all, I should have known this was coming. I should have saw it coming. He set it off and eventually got to the point where he basically sees her as a fetish. He was like, I know who you are. I've seen you by the piers. So she was already looking like, dang, he clocked me. She was already in her feelings before she went in there, before she even went into the actual competition itself, because she was like, do you think they're gonna clock me? And like, she really does look good to be a trans woman. So Blanca was like, look, if I go in there, they gonna know. But if you go in there, you gonna be good. And I mean, in all honesty, in real life, if I would have saw her and not seen the show, I would have thought that she was born a female. To me, that's how she looked. So whatever. I don't care what nobody else gotta say. She look like a woman. A natural born woman, let me say that. So he clocked her. He was able to clock her because he already has a fetish. He already has a fetish or fantasy or whatever it is anyway. But he was very much so here for her. And he basically was telling her without saying the exact words that you need to drop them drawers and everything else and get naked and let me take these pictures of you for my own personal collection. So she took her bra off and took her panties off, and he ended up telling her to touch herself. Like, you could tell how mortified she was. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, when there are women, trans women out there who do not like to touch themselves or have anybody touch their genitals, that lets you know, like, I'm not here for that. I identify as a woman now. I don't want any parts of that. Whether they actually are gonna go through with getting the full transition done or not. Maddie, I love T.S. Madison. She said that she ain't getting that done. And I'm just saying, there are some people who identify as a woman and they're not going to get that surgery. Y'all, I was so disgusted when that happened. But eventually she told her mother and the guy who had taken the pictures of her, and Blanca got very upset. And her and the guy went to the place along with Angel. They beat that man down and said, where are the pictures? Meaning the good ones that he took, that she would be able to have glamour shots and head shots that would be needed for that contest, competition, whatever. And the negatives and the regular pictures of what, like anything he had on her, they were like, where that though? So he told him, he got beat down, and he got told what it was. Don't make them have to roll up no more. They came, set it off, and left. So at the end of the day, Angel ended up going and giving the pictures to her. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I bet this man go sit up here and call this woman and ruin her whole career. And I feel like that's what she was thinking in the back of her mind too. From the way she was looking, that woman was so here for them pictures. She was like, these are just absolutely breathtaking. These are just so gorgeous. I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Y'all, she won. Like, she won. If I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn they said that she won the whole thing. So she's going to be the face of it. So unless something come out of nowhere and mess it up, she won. So something great came out of this episode. And it was just a lot. Like, I feel like that was a great start, y'all. This show is like an hour. Well, the whole runtime, including the commercials, are like 120 something minutes, I think. So yeah, like what, like 40 something, 50 something minutes, or I forgot how that go now. Not including the commercials. But I enjoyed the show. I know it's gonna continue to be good. It will probably get renewed next season as well, like it did last time. It got renewed pretty quickly. I'm here for it. I'm wondering if Pray Tell is going to get a new love interest. I was hoping that Blanca was going to get a new love interest, but some stuff went down last time, and y'all, it's just, I don't know. It's just a lot. But like I said, if you haven't seen it, please go back and watch the first season. I loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. I knew I was going to like it. I said, they do this right. This is going to really give me my entire life, and it was everything. Because I like ballroom. I have several friends who are part of the LBGT and all the rest of the letters of the alphabet community. They are very nice. They don't do anything to me. They don't do anything crazy or outlandish. Anything that I need to be leery of. So yeah. Anyway, I said my piece. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all let me know down in the comment section if you watch it or if you don't. Anyway, y'all have a good evening. Bye.